Hi, everybody, it's Weird Wink Wilkinson laughing and scratching at you. How's everybody doing today? I got a little bit of a stiff neck. Let me just fix this up. Oh, that feels a lot better. Well, I got a great show for you today with some wonderful weird stuff. I feel so very weird.
There are some things in this world that go way beyond human understanding. Things that cannot be explained, things that most people don't want to know about. That is where we come in.
No human being would stack books like this.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. I'm all out of bubblegum.
Oh, it looks like you're the one who needs to be taught a lesson, pal. Class is paying 101. The instructor's Casey Jones.
Look, I don't want to fight you.
Well, tough rocks, pal.
Do you want some coffee, Mr. Tully?
Do I?
Yes, have some.
Yes, have some.
Cup of coffee in the big time, yeah. Cup of coffee in the big time.
Hey, what do you say we both be independent together, huh?
I guess one person can make a difference. Enough said.
We have the tools, we have the talent.
It's Miller time.
Luminous beings, so we, not this fruit matter.
Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow, or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Hey, these aren't my rules. Come to think of it, I don't have any rules.
Well, that's great. Either I have a monster in my kitchen or I'm completely crazy.
I don't think you're crazy.
You know something? Maybe I am insane. Maybe I am insane.
Pizza dude's got 30 seconds.
Rise to the top, oh yeah.
That's the nicest thing a dog can say about anybody.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Enough, I get the point.
You know what you need? You need a Brazilian plastic surgeon.
I've got one that can see.
Sometimes happens, someone has to deal with it, and who are you gonna call?
It's showtime.
All right, welcome everybody to episode 272 of Comic Book Radio. I'm your host, Peter Cimetti. Tonight, my guest is Bill MAUS. Now, it has been an eventful day. If you follow me on Twitter, you know that right now I'm currently in the throes of researching how to do all the single issue printing at Alterna, not graphic novel printing, single issue saddle stitch floppy comic printing at Alterna in-house. I didn't think this was a possibility. I thought this would be something crazy. I looked it up years ago and I was like, there's no way I could do that. It's too much money and these things are too big. These machines are huge. I don't have the space for it. And I'm looking things up now, and tech has advanced so much that it's a possibility. It's still going to be costly, nowhere near as costly as I thought, but there's a way I could possibly crowdfund this, pre-sell, print, press time, and make some saddle stitch comics on newsprint. And I know it sounds crazy, and I thought that it was crazy too. But I'm doing experiments, and it's working. So it's promising. We'll see. I'll talk to Bill tonight a little bit about printing. You know, we'll talk shop, all that good stuff. But I just wanted to share that with you guys because it's exciting. I printed like a little test booklet. It's got staples on it too, you know. I'm not going to open it up. Maybe a different day. Just a little tease to let you know what I'm doing. You know, like this. Oh, this is like whoosh. Oh, it's amazing. It's fun. Oh man, I can't tell you. And this is because a printer broke me recently. Completely broke me. I'll talk to Bill about this when we get him on in a second. All right, before I do bring Bill on, I want to let you guys know he does have a book funding right now on Kickstarter called Nira X Dark Seas number 3 of 3. Go check that out. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. King Cryptid number 10 to 13. That's on Indiegogo right now. Also on alternacomics.com. You can go check that out. If you have not had a chance to back either, check them out and back them. If they speak to you, back them. Number 10 to 13 of King Cryptid. Bill is also the artist on issue 12. So he's got like a part in both of these things, all right? They both pertain to him. And we're 10 backers away from 400 on that. So check it out. Bretsky the Great. What's up, Bretsky? Good to see you. Bill's in the chat. Look at him. He's everywhere. The Darker Half. How's it going? We got Radio Stories now. What's up, Radio Stories now? Andy's here too. What's up, Andy? Let's see. Andy says, I like the added Sasquatch. Fake. Well, there you go. Fake. Not fake. I don't know anymore. Bretsky says, this intro is missing the this is going to take crackerjack timing, Wang, from Big Trouble in Little China. Dude, there's like so many clips I can't make. I would make like some 10-minute long intro thing, but that's just kind of like obnoxious. I think my intro's already obnoxious enough as it is in terms of length. It like just fits. It just fits. Brian, what's up, Brian? Hope you're doing good. All right, so without further ado, let's bring him on, the man of the hour. He was here a little bit last night, but now he's here in full today. It was like a cameo appearance last night. This is his full appearance. We got Bill MAUS.
I was using guerrilla tactics to invade your show last night so I can promote the show today.
Hey, you know, I think it worked.
I'm a time traveler. I got a flux capacitor back here.
Hey man, whatever works.
I got it off of Temu. I know it works.
Oh well.
It was like $5.
Oh yeah. See, yeah. Who says you can't get something great for cheap?
See, that's how I make my deadlines.
Yeah. Well, you know, sometimes you gotta. Brian says, did you talk to Fund My Comic for the crowdfunding? Sorry, I'm late. Yeah, they. Mm-hmm. Someone like both Pixel Trader, Luke Stone, both of those guys got back within. I don't even know. I think I posted it, and then like a half hour later, maybe they had both said something to me that would be completely fine to put it on there. And depending on how it did, I would move it to Indiegogo eventually, and then maybe Kickstarter too. I got to mull it over, you know, just to kind of widen the options. But I only have so much time, because that's the thing, right? This all stemmed from me getting the second printing of King Cryptid number 2. And I got it in from a print-on-demand printer who I would love to just tear them asunder. But I'm like, no.
Limb from limb.
I'll hold back. One of the worst experiences, though, that I've ever had in talking to a printer about issues on a book.
When Peter somebody becomes angry or outraged, a startling metamorphosis occurs.
And it's like, I don't go 0 to 60, you know, it takes about like 5 email interactions before I can being like,
you seem like a very level-headed person.
Yeah, like
you don't just fly off the handle right off the top. It's like you ever Brussels sprouts, you know, it's like
it's like these conversations where you feel like you're trying your best to explain a scenario, you're trying your best to you know, bring detail to the situation, and you have to explain and re-explain, and like there's a condescending tone, and you're almost wondering, like, are we speaking the same language? Is this a robot on the other end? Like, I don't know.
That's the worst part, when they put the stank on it, when they put, you know, they're talking down to you at this point, like they're angry that you're
and then when they start throwing out the every printer does it like this.
No, they don't.
Do this. And it's like, oh, what?
From experience, I've noticed that every printer does it differently.
Every printer does it differently.
I mean,
exactly.
there is a blanket amount of things that happen that every printer does, but I guarantee there's like 12 things that they all do slightly different.
Totally. You know, and it's like, so they fudged a bit with my files, which really pissed me off. That's like number one that pisses me off to no end. Like, don't mess with my files. I'm giving you perfect files. Don't just print the damn thing.
Don't do it. Don't touch me.
So they did that, and then they gave me like these weird little things with the covers, and it's like impossible to remove them without getting all these little like pieces of paper. I'm pulling little pieces of paper out from the staples the whole time. Like there's a friggin' nightmare. and then the damn things, like, you know, and this is to be expected with digital printing, where it bows out in
right. That's,
you know, all
that's
patent weird.
The nature of the beast for right now until they solve that problem. Right.
Yeah,
right.
because they don't want to put it through the folding machine and then assemble it. They want to put it into fold after it's been assembled, and then do a big fold and then staple. So, well, when you do that, you know, just imagine you take any, you know, 8 sheets of paper, because that's what it takes to make a 32-page book. There's 4 images per sheet of paper, 2 on the front, 2 on the back. And then you just fold them all together. Now, imagine that's not going to look so great. But if you were to fold each page individually and then layer them together and then staple them, it's going to be a lot nicer. So I took one apart and I did the impossible. And I did that. They're also using like these big fat staples that are like ridiculous. These things look like they're right over here.
You know what? I never thought about really looking at it from that perspective, looking at the size of the staples. I mean, that would make a huge difference.
And when I restapled, they're a lot thinner. They're normal. They're not these like steroid staples.
Right, exactly. So there's some like hardware store staples.
Yeah. It's like taking a staple gun. All right, that book's done.
Putting together my journal.
So I'm doing all kinds of science experiments with the printing and whatnot.
Yeah.
But they drove me to the edge. And maybe that's a good thing. So maybe one day down the line, I'll have to thank them and be like, you know, I'm glad you drove me absolutely friggin' insane for a week, because it forced me into doing this wonderful thing of printing these single issues in-house.
Yeah.
But so you know, and that's like the silver lining on the cloud here. But that's the thing that I find so nuts, is that when they were throwing like it's impossible, you can't do that, this is how it is, this is how they print, everyone prints this way. That's when I was just I lost it, because I was like, I've used like a dozen printers, like digital printers, in my time to print various things, whether it was comics or posters or trading cards.
Sure.
They don't do this. Like, you guys are doing this because maybe like you don't understand how to do it the other way.
Now, they could have said it nicely. They could have said the exact same thing, but without the condescending tone. It's just like, well, we can't do it. It's like, this is how we do it. This is the best we can do. You know, they could have been nice about it and been that.
Well, then they tell me, right? I said, well, the cover's printed perfect. They printed perfect. You know, in the interiors, though, it looks like you resaved the files and they lost the crispness of the text. And they said, oh, well, the cover we printed on this really nice printer, and on the interiors we printed on, you know, our black and white printer, and it doesn't print as high res. And I'm like, so you printed the interiors on an inferior printer? And they go, the printer is not inferior.
Is this like the argument of why don't they make the whole plane out of the same material as the black box? Because they can always recover that. So we have 2 different printing machines that we use at the store.
And I'm like, look, I'm not saying that printer is horrible, has no purpose, throw it away.
Right.
Inferior is a comparison word.
Well, that was his defense, though. That's what makes it funny. Is it's like, well, I mean, we printed this one on the not so good printer.
It's like, okay, so you said the one is better than the other.
Right, exactly.
So I'm telling you, the one that's not as good is inferior.
That's was the word justifiable defense.
And you're like, it's not inferior. Can you reread your email? You literally said the other printer is a better printer.
Can you print the whole thing on the good printer?
It's like
or love both of your machines equally. I don't know. It's like something.
Every little, like, you know, any little way to get out of admitting like, yeah, you know, we kind of screwed up. I think we should do a reprint for you. You know, like that would have been pretty simple. But instead, it was just this insanity. So yeah, it pushed me to my limit, which maybe I'm going to be thankful for in the future.
Well, and necessity is the mother of invention, right? So it pushed you into a space where you're just like, you know what, I'm really going to sit down and figure this out.
Yeah.
So that, that way you have an option. You could do what you want to do. And when you need to use the printer, of course, you use the regular printer. But
20 years of dealing with the madness of this whole thing.
See, I was working for so long thinking it was just like, I'll just draw my book, and then magically it just ends up at a comic shop on a shelf. And people don't know
you expect
how many steps really
you send it off, and how crazy could it be? You send off the hardest part is this is what we all naively think before you get in. The hardest part is making the comic, and you eventually start to learn that is kind of one of the easier parts.
Well, it's one of those things. If you enjoy your work, it doesn't feel like work, right? So
and then
but the nuts and bolts of printing and promoting and shipping,
all of that stuff.
You should have seen me and Kat folding boxes. Holy crap!
Folding boxes?
Oh yeah. I mean, we fulfilled. No, we have a couple of Kickstarters that we fulfilled. The one that we're promoting right now, the Nira X Dark Seas #3. Luckily, Tom, our publisher Tom over at Committed Comics, he's stuck doing that. So please order more so I could force him to fold all the boxes. For the Zen Bounty Wars #1, this is the one that we just delivered now. It's Zen Bounty Wars.
Oh, nice.
And Cat Mouse did the colors for it. I did the artwork. It was written by Steve Stern, who's the co-creator.
Yeah, you guys were on here promoting that, right?
Yeah. So it's a larger publisher, and between everything that was going on, it was just falling behind as far as fulfillment. So Kat and I basically took over the fulfillment and made sure that everything got done, printed, shipped to the house, everything got signed. We did all the Gemini boxes, did everything, soup to nuts to bolts. So that would, but it's good to go through all the steps, so that way I know that we can do it. So we were happy that we were actually able to ship everything out. So that's all finished. That's all out the door.
Nice. Yeah, that's always a great feeling.
Oh, I pat myself on the back while I was passed out on the floor, and of course it's always fun to show up to the post office with my, the tail end of the delivery truck going, I have this,
I did that today, because I'm putting the King Cryptid collector boxes.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I'm not shipping them like that. I'm shipping them in boxes. They're in bigger boxes. But I got all to the side a bunch of boxes, and I dropped off like 30 something boxes today to the post office and filled the whole like post-con thing with them, and did get the stairs whenever I go around the back, and I'm like, the people just staring as I drive by, like there's some kind of heist going on.
And now I can't even operate my business without Kat. So she's got a foothold in the business now where I can't do anything without her, because she knows how to actually do all of the, I call them the CBS files, all the order files and the numbers and the stuff. And I'm just like, she's got it down so pat, and that I kind of don't pay attention to it. And I'm just like, I just trust the science. She's got it.
Yeah. Well, you do have to eventually just do that and trust that, like, you've done this a lot and it'll work out. But
some person. Unfortunately, Kat's not here next to me, but I will definitely tell her hello.
Hello indeed.
I think she might wander up into the studio a little bit later. She's had kind of a long day. She's coloring a graphic novel for the company that she's working for. I think it's like an 80 or 90 page graphic novel. So she's
nice. Does she color traditional or digital?
Digital coloring. Yeah. All digital coloring.
I try to traditionally.
Oh, she's great. I mean, she's got such range. She oil paints. She does stuff with acrylic paint. She does digital. She likes She's not really sold on Procreate when it comes to digital. She's more of a Clip Studio person. So I'm more of a Procreate as far as digital stuff goes.
I can't get into like the digital coloring aspect for me. I like when other people do it well.
Yeah,
You know, like I always preferred traditional over digital.
I prefer traditional because like I'll get in there with like because I use all of this is what we did when we first started in the 90s. All of the covers that we were doing, Don and I in the 90s with Parody Press, they're all airbrushed with like watercolor and acrylic paint and stuff like that. And that's what I really like doing. The digital color I love because there's a couple of tricks that digital can do that I couldn't do traditionally, like laser effects or glowing.
Yeah, I like
things
digital
like that
to kind of either augment or do some correction.
So there is a project that I've got in my brain that I'm doing in the future that's going to be completely hand colored. I'll do it on like not watercolor paper, but it's like a mixed media paper, so that way it actually takes the media well. And so that's something that I'm working on in the future, and that'll satisfy my traditional paint fix.
Nice. Yeah, you need paper that has a little bit of tooth to it.
You need some tooth. You need some heft. Yeah. Or else it's because normally like even the comic book illustration board, it'll warp. You put a little bit too much media.
Oh yeah.
It'll start buckling under the pressure.
Totally. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Shrek, what's up, Shrek? Good to see you. Let's see. We got Brian saying, "Pete's Superior Printers, you will love the smell of your comics." Yeah, Pete, please. I bought newsprintcomics.com today.
Oh,
I couldn't believe it was open.
Dude, that's a win.
Yeah.
Choice. That's awesome.
Right,
man.
Yeah, right now because I wanted something real simple because I'm gonna just focus and zone in on newsprint saddle stitch floppies. Some people are like, "Can you do hardcovers? Could you do perfect bound? Could you do this?" And it's like,
yeah, like a full service. All this. Do you do license plates?
No,
do you do chromium?
Yeah, because it's like I just want to focus on that and operate the press when I have time and take jobs on when I have time because I still want to make art and I still want to make King Cryptid and I still have alternative stuff to do.
Exactly.
And I only have so much space because if I start doing like a full on perfect
that'll turn into your 12-hour a day job.
Yeah,
right, if you go all the way, for sure.
Even taking on I might take on one or two more paper stocks. Like I could do stretch goals and stuff like that on the campaign for paper stocks or extra machinery or another printer.
Or this is a situation. What you're building right now is kind of like if you're a Jedi. You know how Jedis always have to build their own lightsaber. They're not building lightsabers for everybody. So that's what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're building your print machine. You got your things. It's like this, so that way it becomes
and I'll use this lightsaber for the benefit of everybody.
Exactly. Straight cuts.
I ain't building everyone their own lightsaber.
That's what it is. You got to build your own lightsaber. I mean, you could give advice on how they can build their own lightsaber.
And the thing is too is just even cost wise and time wise, it's still going to be worth it instead to go to a printer for a perfect bound book. Right. I'm not even trying to compete with like a commercial printer. I'm strictly trying to offer like a print on demand, 200 or less copies service with these kinds of books this way.
Yeah, perfect.
And that's what that is, and I'm zeroing in on that, and I'm gonna perfect that. And I'm not gonna go, make this, make that, offer this option, this type of thing. That's gonna become ridiculous, and I'm not gonna be able to keep up with any of that, and it's all gonna look like garbage, and it's gonna be for nothing. So I'm gonna do what that is, zero in on it, make it perfect, and if you want that kind of comic, you can come to me for it. If you don't, that's fine. That's great. There's other options out there. You can go to them, and that's what it's going to be. But right now I'm looking at the costs and just like a kind of ballpark estimate, it's going to be coming in at, and I've researched a lot of these printers.
Yeah.
But it's going to be coming in at like half the cost so far.
That's awesome.
It would cost someone to go and get like 100 or 200 copies made somewhere else.
Do you think you're going to concentrate fully on ashcan size books, or are you going to try and
I'll do ashcan size. Like I'll offer a couple different trim sizes.
Right.
But
focus, laser focus in on that particular. That's the way to do it, man. That's the way to do it. That way people know exactly what's
in that.
There's never a question about what your service is. It's that one specific thing.
Exactly. And that's why I figure newsprintcomics.com. Let's go for it. Right now it redirects to alternativecomics.com. But one day when everything's up and running, it'll redirect. I just wanted to jump on it now while I still had the idea and before someone went in there. Because I
Right.
can't even believe that newsprint.
Oh, dude, yeah, I can't believe you got it just like that. I know.
It's like, okay, because then after I purchased it, they're like, oh, this is potentially a very valuable domain. It could be
I know,
worth.
it's like I got
$50,000.
Coca-Cola.com.
Like,
how is that not taken? It's like,
yeah, or like
it's exactly what you wanted to have.
Soda.com. You know, it's like it's not taken.
Oh man. Oh, I see Radio Stories now says being a colorist would be so nice. Yeah, Kat actually has a very nice time being a colorist, and that's sort of like that's like her. She kind of treats that as like her 9 to 5, and then when she's doing her own art and her own books, that feels like her 9 to 5 is kind of like allowing the other stuff to happen. So it's a good mix. It's a good mix of things.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great balance of things. You know, when I started off, I don't know if this was the way for you, but it was just kind of like learn as much as I possibly could about every aspect so I could help out where needed. And you know, I'm glad I went down that road, but at the same time, man, that was just really hectic to do that.
It was it's super hectic. When I first started out, yeah, I mean the 90s, it's when I first started out, so many people try to get into comics. It's just like any other entertainment field. There's always a lot more people coming into it than there are positions available to be filled. So my answer, not so well, yeah, one of my answers was volume, because I was drawing like 4 books a month, something like that. And you could tell they were drawn fast. Thank you for buying my books so I could learn how to get better and improve. But the other thing too was being available for everything. It's like, do you letter? And I'm like, I could, It's like, do you color? And like I didn't at the time, but it's like, I could, I'm available. It's like, what are you paying? It's more, just to get involved in more projects and more people, and yeah, super hectic.
Yeah. And I'm finding like now, that's why when I'm talking about, I want to like zero in on one thing and be perfect at it. Because I've seen over the years, there's people that'll just do covers or trading cards or whatever, and they're great at it,
Oh yeah.
And they'll be constantly in demand because of that. And even though it's great to know a lot about all the different aspects of the industry, and it really helped me out as a publisher, unless you want to go down that road, I really suggest for people to like zero in and focus on becoming great at 1 or 2 things.
I recommend that
master.
That was
like jack of all trades.
Dude,
master
that was the advice. That was the advice that I got. Essentially, I've only shown my portfolio really like to try to get a job, because I was always in the right place at the right time, where somebody dropped the ball, and I'm just like, here I am, and I just happened to get a job. So I'll tell you the story of how I got my first gig in comics. So that way, that's basically it. But the advice that I got, I went to a Japanese company because I love anime, I love manga. So I just showed him my portfolio. And my portfolio.
What year was this?
Wow, this is like 1991. It's one of the first San Diego Comic-Cons that I went to. And they had people reviewing portfolios right there on the floor at their booth. So I was just waited in line. I got in there. And when they opened up my portfolio, like my answer to everything is like, I need to have a Denny's menu. Like I need to be able to have this style, this style, this style, this style. And it's like something that leans towards serious Frank Miller, but it's something that's cartoony, like, Mort Drucker. It's like just a little bit of everything. And they just kind of like, his eyes rolled into the back of his head. You need to have one style. What's wrong with you? Stupid American. And I'm just like, I'm Puerto Rican, thank you very much, and I walked away. No, he was a cool guy. He was super nice. But he was telling me to focus and get really good at one thing. Right. It's like, this is what you're expected to. Now I did focus. I'm a very fast penciler. That's the thing that I really focused on, was my penciling and kind of pulling things out of my head and being able to get it on the page. Everything else, I'm not as good, but I do it all. I ink, I color, I letter, I do all the other things, and I'm proficient. But the thing that I'm strongest at is and I kept on concentrating on, was always penciling. So that's the best advice. You got to focus in. You got to laser focus something, and then everything else, if you need it, because I kind of became like a one-stop shop, which is what kept me working for the longest time, because publishers didn't have enough money to pay a team. So
it's great to, and I eventually did zero in more on like the comic creation process of what I wanted to do, which was like the writing, lettering.
Right.
I like the idea, because I have a graphic design background, and that's where I come from. That's what I'm degreed in. But it was so strange to me to like know how to do that stuff, but then hand it off to someone else. So it just became this natural thing of wanting to letter what I wrote.
I see,
and that's where it zeroed in. And then I do all the people know me with the sketch cards and whatnot too. But that just came about from wanting to make art and
I love the sketch cards. I like it when
portable.
I love the sketch cards actually caught on, because I didn't think they were going to catch on when the sketch cards first started coming out. I was like, especially the larger companies that were trying to get people to. I won't name a company, but all of them charge about the same, or they pay about the same, which is like
I'll name them.
What, $3, $5, $5?
Oh, if you were lucky, yeah.
If you're lucky, that's on the high end. They want you to make up for it by selling a couple of blanks at the end of the day and sell those for actual collector rates to kind of make up for. But when I first started drawing them, I was like, okay, like quick Sharpie sketches, right? I was just doing like the worst little quick sketch, like a free sketch.
No one knew what to make out of the first couple or so. The sketch card.
And then people started bringing their A game to it, and I'm like, oh, I got to make them good.
Yeah.
Damn it. But then it caught on. It was great.
Topps had, and I'm never going to look for work in this industry again on that level, so I don't mind naming it up. But Topps came to me because they wanted me to work on a Star Wars card set, and they had said, we want, I believe it was 100 cards at the time, and they wanted them painted, fully painted.
Yeah.
Wanted to.
Were you on the Star Wars on the Masterworks? Were you on that one, or?
I think that might have been the one they wanted me to be on.
That's because I got on that one. I was on and I had to do so many cards.
They wanted to pay me $1 a card.
Oh, bro!
And they were like, "We'll give you 5 artist proofs, and you can sell those for as much as you want." And I'm like, "You want me to do 100 fully painted cards at $1 a piece?"
Yeah, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy.
I was like, "That's crazy." And Upper Deck was like $2, and I said no to that too. Upper Deck was like brutal because they were like, "We want you to do 200 cards. We're going to throw away 100." And we'll pay you $2.
When they tell you up front that they're going to throw away half of them, that's bad. That's bad.
It's like, oh my lord.
But I won't mislead you. I do like once a year I will get on one set for either like a DC set or a Marvel set, just because since I'm not drawing Marvel DC books, I still want to be able to have Marvel DC characters on my banner, and I can tell people that I've drawn them in some official way. Right.
Yeah, you could say, because that's the thing. It sounds prestigious. You're a top.
It's a little bit of street cred, right? Yeah.
Because I did a couple sets for Leaf, and they were pretty good. They paid $6 a card, and they wanted me to keep them sketchy.
Right.
So I was like, okay, that's cool. It's like a nice compromise.
Right.
And it was like likenesses for celebrities, athletes, stuff like that. And the athlete, celebrity, whoever it was, would sign the card too, and then it would be inserted like that in the packs.
Right.
And they gave like a whole list of different ones I had to draw. And they were like, if you want to do it, let us know. If not, don't worry about it. Like they were very easy to work with. I don't know. I think Leaf is still around. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything from Leaf. I haven't heard from Leaf. But but I could look. Let me look at the chat real quick, because the Dark Half said maybe one day I'll do a comic with acrylic paints. I would encourage you to do that, good sir. I would encourage that. Go. There we go. Let's see. Brian says, realize independent comics are craving this. You might have to share your secrets.
That would be funny. The thing is, it's not really much of a secret. Like, there's not a lot of secrets to it.
There's not a lot of secret. It's just the love and care actually going in there and doing it, So, Warzord says, I ordered and picked up Nira X foil bag set from my last, from my local comic last week. Oh, thanks, dude.
Nice. Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah, there you go. Brian wants to know, Bill, is Nira X Dark Seas trailer safe for comic book radio?
Yeah, it's safe. Yeah, it's safe. There's no outward.
Other
And
than
actually, the interior,
the
the story. There are 2 variant covers. Even when I scroll down, they're censored. When I scroll down the campaign page, because they're censored for Kickstarter anyway, they won't let you just show that stuff. But there's only there's 2 adult covers.
I've seen campaigns where it's not censored.
Oh gosh, that's taking a risk. That's a little you can't do that to people.
That's interesting.
But the interior story, as sexy as the book gets and stuff, there's no like straight out nudity in the book, in the story itself. It's just for the variant covers that we did that little special extra.
You know, the thing is I got King Cryptid. He's got a bare chest every issue. It's like,
I know.
Where's the sexy people? Come on. This dude is like, you know, he's bearing it all.
He's got pecs for days. Look at this guy. And by the way, I hope you guys will pick up King Cryptid number 12. I'm just saying, I'm a little biased.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Bill's drawing a story with Krampus getting his revenge on Santa Claus and King Cryptid. That's issue 12. And that's just going to be a whole lot of fun.
And it's going to be colored traditionally.
And I'm going to be coloring that traditionally. We already got page 1 and the cover done, and I colored that. And that was a great experience, too, to get in there and actually do some coloring on line art.
Hell yeah, for sure.
I didn't know how it would take. I experimented with it on Nick Hunter's art to do some Victor Lugo pieces for the trading card and for the prismatic sticker.
Right.
And I really liked how it came out, and I figured maybe I could do this for the books.
No, dude, I love it. I love it. You know, back in the old days, when I was doing Nira X for Avatar Press, I would take the original art, I would shrink it down, make the best photostat that I could, scan that thing at 600 DPI when I was all done with it. But I'll take pencil shading. I would shade everything with pencil on top of the line art, and it came out. It was just really cool to add that traditional feel to it. You know, it's like
that's what I'm finding too, is that it's so much faster for me to do it that way. Right. And it gets me away from the screen.
Computer, yeah. I don't want. I love the digital stuff, but I want to have a balance between one and the other. I want to do some stuff that's just traditional. Like even when I'm doing all of my digital work, I mean, I've got, you know, I really want to make sure that I do all the original pages like on real paper, so that way people know that they're holding the original. You know, it's like. Because with digital, there's kind of no such thing as the original.
I think you got to draw some of it traditionally. That's just how I feel. You know, even if it's just like you're doing the thumbnails, you're doing the loose pencils, something. Right. Some people do the inks traditionally. Some people do the penciling traditionally. Some people thumbnail it traditionally. Like people who can work the whole way digitally. I can't wrap my head around that, and I'm sure you know,
I like that some people do their pencils completely digitally because they can move things around, right? You don't have to erase the whole thing to just slide it to the right 2 inches, right? If you wanted to change the composition a little bit, and then they'll print out a blue line, and then they'll physically ink that on 11x17. I think that's a good process to use too. So it's like there's a million different ways, you know, to get around it. It's almost like Star Wars, you know, it's like you just can't do all the effects digitally. There's got to be some puppets and some mechanical stuff there.
Totally.
You know, so it's got to be a mix of the two. You know, it's like you get that perfect balance, you know.
And there are people who do work the entire thing digitally. It's just I can't wrap my head around that much screen time because
it's a lot of screen time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm wearing the sunglasses when I do these shows because I've been doing computer work all day. And
right. You're just toning it down. Got the blue blocker. You got the thing in it.
Yeah. Well, I got new glasses coming along. I thought my old glasses had these ones. I was talking about this a little bit yesterday during the show. I thought that they had the blue blocker, whatever is in them, but they don't. I was looking back through the
Oh,
old order.
jeez. Yeah.
Because of how I got the lenses tinted,
Right.
they don't add the blue blocker stuff. And I'm like, well, that explains why I still get these headaches when I'm
Right. Yeah. It wasn't helping you at all. It's like,
oh yeah, like
my next ones, these don't have
the
it.
light, but yeah.
These the next ones that I get, I'm definitely gonna kick a few extra bucks and get the blue blocker put into it.
Yeah, because I used to get horrible migraines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I would do a show with like my glasses on, and I just didn't have the sunglasses or any tinted lenses or anything, and it would, no matter how low I'd make the light on the screen, I would still get.
and dude, we started coloring like in 1990, like as far as 1992 we started, and those monitors were literally burning and x-raying your skull. It's like those things.
Yeah,
it's not the flat screens that we have now are actually very kind compared to those.
Oh, those things! Oh my god, that's when like people would get the little veil to put over on them. That like when I used to work like a design company, we'd all have like these. It looks like the shade you put on the car window so the baby doesn't get a sunburn. Right. You got that like in front of the monitor. Because we're all like a bunch of vampires.
By the way, I remember when my kid was a baby. This is totally not related to anything, but you said like the veil on the car. It just brought it to my head. I got to share it because somebody out there is going to mess up their paint job. I swear to God, the wipes for your kid, for your baby, wipes that clean their butt.
The wet wipe,
yeah, it's safe for your baby's skin. But if you try to clean bird poop off the hood of your car with a wipey, it will swirl into the paint. You will actually put a bullet hole into your. I had a brand new Honda Civic. It was 1995.
All of a sudden, it's like an oil paint mixture,
dude.
Yeah.
Like, how does it do? And I'm putting this on my child.
On here, a little bit of phthalo blue. All right, mix it in with that titanium white bird poop.
Jeez Louise.
Make it a nice looking sunset.
I'm going to make my kid look like a Oompa Loompa by the time I'm cleaning her up. I'm just like, what the hell's going on? I damaged my child.
It's so strange. Yeah, no.
Oh my God.
You're better off just taking like some soap and water and just dump it on there.
Oh, dude, yeah. Anything but a wipey is what I'm saying. And wipies are good for a lot of things, like the soles of your tennis shoes and all that. So it cleans everything else. Just don't put it on your car. Destroy your car.
But yeah, it's absolutely crazy to me the whole screen stuff giving me a migraine and whatever else, and I don't know if it's psychosomatic or whatever, but all I know is I used to wear like those cataract lenses, like the sunglasses.
Yeah.
Like I have those on the next day after I got them from like the Dollar Tree because I was like, I need something that just blocks out every.
Are you talking about the big Terminator ones that have the lip on it all the way around?
Yes.
Oh, dude, I had a pair of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I would wear them on screen for a while because they would go over my lenses, and because I have a horrible prescription, so
it's learning at the geometric rate.
Like this is the thinnest they come, folks.
Right.
So I would need something that went over them until I eventually was like, let me just get prescription sunglasses.
Right.
Yeah, so I'd be like, I'm either going to be in sunglasses for like the next day after, and have a horrible headache the whole time, or I should just wear them as I stream. And then it evolved into this.
Yeah.
I've tried like the whole, the orange lenses and all that other stuff.
Yeah, like the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas glasses and like the whole, like the sniper orange aviator glasses.
Yeah, and it works to a degree, and I'll still wear the other glasses every now and then when I don't have a lot of computer work that I've done that day, and the streaming really is only the only computer work I'm doing. But tomorrow I get some new glasses in, so I'm like fingers crossed. I hope these puppies work.
In the chat, some person says he wears the glasses so much I didn't know he was Asian until a few years in.
That's hilarious. Oh man, yeah. Well, I'm half Chinese, half Italian, and my dad's Italian, so he's Sicilian. So my last name is what it is, and that's the funniest part is. People who've only really seen me with like the sunglasses on, they'll catch like an old video from like 5 years ago when I did, when I just had regular glasses on, and they're like, "Oh my God, It's like when Macho Man takes off his glasses.
Pete is going crazy.
But they become like a part of your face.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then people get so used to it, and then they see you without it, and they're like, "Oh my god,
what happened to you, man?"
It's like that Twilight Zone episode where they take this glass, and everyone's eyes like, you know.
Oh, geez. All of a sudden, it's like Total Recall, and he's just like, "No, the atmosphere."
Right? And no, Matt, I'm not stoned. I've never even smoked. I've never smoked anything. I've never had
smoking that computer screen is what you're smoking with your eyeballs.
Yeah, like I'll drink every once in a while. You know, I didn't.
Right.
I stopped. Like I had like one summer when I was 21 that I did heavy drinking, and then I was like, that was it. That was it for me. I was like, this is too much. I threw up one time. I threw up in like I was so out of it. I used my favorite hat to clean up my puke when I was like 21, and I was like, I hit like rock bottom right away, and I was like,
oh man,
things have to change. So it was only 2 months. It was that summer. I never drank. I hit 21. I drank way too much, and then I really don't drink ever again since. Like I'll buy nips of alcohol at the liquor store every now and then, and they'll last for like 5 months. Because I'm just like every now and then, just a little bit.
Every once in a while, I just want to have a thick glass with like a tiny bit of scotch to make it look like I'm going to talk about history or something.
Yeah, but like smoking, and my dad smoked cigarettes, and I never got into that, and I never got into weed or anything. I'm fascinated by people who have done like psychedelics and have seen visions.
Right.
I've never done it. I don't have the inclination because I'm like, if I do that, I'm going to have such a bad trip. It's going to scar me for life. I'm like, no thanks.
I'm a secondhand smoker, but it's basically about saving money. So here's the thing. I don't know why the cigarette smoke settles my stomach. I don't know what it is.
Oh, that's
because if we're walking down the street, if I'm walking with
the opposite.
Yeah. Well, when I'm walking with Kat, we're going somewhere, go to the art store or whatever. If somebody walks past us smoking a cigarette, she literally feels sick. She doesn't like smoke at all. She doesn't dig that. It's a deal breaker. I'm just like, you mind if I stand here for a minute? Just go ahead and finish that while I, breathe that in.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't mind the smell of a cigarette burning, like as it's burning.
Right.
But I don't like the smell of. I've had a couple friends over the years who they always smoke in like the same jacket, and they'll never wash that jacket.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
you stink.
Yeah,
like, you gotta clean that every now and then.
Sinks into things. Yeah.
Pretty, like sour smell.
Well, it's a nice little kind of a wet carpet.
Yeah, getting to you.
But if I get a nice dry cigarette smoke or a cigar smoke, I'll stand there for a minute because I'm just like, this is, I'm wasting. My stomach feels just right. Okay, now I can continue my day. I'm out.
Yeah. No, at AL, that's not what happened at all. What happened was 19 shots of blackberry vodka. That's what happened.
Blackberry vodka.
Yeah. And then the time when it got really bad, it was like, I think I had like 2 or 3 zombies.
Yeah.
And it was like really loaded.
Yeah.
It was like some Jaeger. And I just had like an obscene amount of like, how was I still alive? I was lucky to be alive at that point. And, that's the stupidity of 21-year-old me, and I'm celebrating the 20th anniversary of my 21st birthday in a couple of months. I learned my lesson after that. I was like, that's it.
But Jaeger tastes like black jelly beans. Like
I lost a lot of friends from that, though.
Yeah, it's strange how that is. Like the friend group that the friends that I grew up with, in school and stuff like that. They all drink, they all smoke, but I never got pressured into doing anything to make myself part of the group. So they were just like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
Bill's gonna drive us home. That's what's gonna happen.
That's the crazy part. Is like none of us drank, and then we all hit like 21 roughly around the same time. Within like a year or two, we all turned like 21. And like everyone did kind of what I did, where we went crazy with the drinking, but like I stopped and they didn't.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't care if you guys want to drink, I'll still hang out. And they're like, man, it's not fun if you don't drink too. And I'm like, I don't want to drink anymore, man. Like I scared myself straight with that. That was enough for me. I was like, I don't care if you guys want to drive. I was like, if anything, use me for like designated driver, use me for like the dude who, if something gets out of hand, I'll be there to like take care of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And it pissed them off. Like we got into fights about it, and I'm like,
that's too bad that it was like that. I mean, I was left out of certain groups of friends, like from people you grow up with and stuff, because certain people in the group were married and maybe had small kids, and some of the people were still single. And for some reason, when they had get-togethers, like I was married for like 10 years, then all of a sudden I was a single dad. Everything's fine. It's like it's cool. And then and raising Catherine and everything. But as soon as I was a single dad, I wasn't invited to like the married people stuff anymore. But as far as all my people that drank and smoked, they were just like, oh yeah, hang out.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they were fine.
Yeah, they weren't friends, and we aren't friends, and we didn't really stay friends after. Anyway, I mean, not really by my choice, because I was like,
right.
But it was more like they didn't want me around. I don't know if it's because maybe they felt kind of weird.
It threw off the dynamic. We can't talk about the same PTA meetings or something. I don't know. There was something off about it, but
fun and laugh at all your dumb stuff, and I'll be crazy with you guys.
Yeah, I wasn't showing up like drunk with no pants on. I was still like normal Bill.
Yeah, exactly.
I show up as a new form of cryptid.
And that's the thing, that it's so strange how stuff like that evolves, because it's like all these other things. It's just like this stuff with me with the printer. It's like all these little paths in life that happen. They just send you down different courses. You meet different people. You do different things.
Right.
And you ultimately, hopefully, end up where you're supposed to be, or at least where you feel you're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
So it's interesting how stuff like that goes. But I've had like younger siblings and relatives and things like that when they're faced with these kinds of situations, they're all freaking out, and I get it.
Yeah.
But over the years, I'm just like, you end up where you're supposed to be and who you're supposed to be with. You find your people, and your people find you. But you gotta be true to yourself, otherwise you're never.
Well, that's the thing. Just be yourself, exactly. Because you know what? Years later, a lot of those friends, their kids have now grown up. They're heading off to college, and now they don't have those kids, like in the same kind of structure as they were. And now we're slowly reconnecting again, where it's just like, oh, we are the same again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's some people that you go like this, and then you end up going back again. Yeah.
It's like, I'll meet you on. It's like I don't know if you listen to Bill Burr, but he's just like, oh yeah, when you have a kid, you get sucked into the bubble, and then it's like you go in there and you're trying to you got the kid, you're raising a kid, and then the kid grows up, and then you come out of the bubble, you turn on your music, da 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 da. You're just not. It's like time travel, It's just like all of a sudden, it's just like, yeah, come on, let's go hang out. It's like I want to go see the Thunderbolts when it comes out. It's like, oh yeah, we're all free now. All the kids are gone. We're fine. We're on the other side of it.
That leads me to something I've been wanting to ask you for a while. How did that happen with Kat getting into art? Was she always inclined? Did you encourage her? How did that go about?
She was always into art the same way that any kid was into art. When she was really small. And then when I would leave to go to work, or she would go to school, I would always leave her drawings. I'd draw her like, with a Sharpie marker, I'd draw her like dolphins and orcas and all kinds of like cool stuff like that, for her to color. So when I came back home, it's like she would show me, it's like, yeah, she colored it. I didn't know I was training a colorist. This was not the intention. It's just starting a sweatshop back in 2000. So she started getting different interests, sports, this, that, whatever. As she's growing up through school, art always seems to come back. Like she would use the art to express herself. She would use the art to deal with problems. She would use the art to express that she was happy, whatever. I tried to push her away from the art because I wanted her to be sure that she wasn't doing it just because I was doing it or because it was accessible, because I started ghosting her in on a couple of projects. Nobody knew she was filling the blacks on some pages, It was just fun. I wasn't really training her to do anything. I just wanted her to have fun and, be a part of things. And I figured she would just gain an interest and go to school, go to college and do her own thing. And I keep on doing my thing. But the art kept on coming back. Even when she would get a day job, she got a job at a mall And it was something that was not related to anything. It was like a jewelry shop that made their own jewelry. It was like a custom kind of place. And she was like, oh, I'm going to have a lot of fun working at this place. They found out she knew how to draw, so she no longer did anything with the jewelry. They had her making signs and painting canvases. And she's like, I can't get away from it.
That's funny.
So working from home was a convenience. It was a temptation, right, to continue drawing art. We did have, through me, we had some connections. We have people that we work for that I've been working with. Some of the guys that I've been working for since the 90s. I expect a pension at some point from somebody. But, it's...
You're going to be waiting a long time.
I'm going to be waiting a long time. And essentially, my retirement plan is her. She's going to own the house, and I get to live in the yard.
You're lucky if after 50 years they give you a plastic watch in this industry.
Oh, dude, not even a swatch.
Exactly.
But yeah, she kept on coming back around to it. We had some really serious, sit-down conversations about this is what you really want to do. Because being an artist, being a publisher, being in a creative field of any kind, it's a roller coaster. You do well, and then there's a lull. You do well,
peaks and valleys.
Yeah, you're at the mercy of whether or not people even like you, or like your work, or do you have something to offer,
or they're intimidated and threatened by you.
They could be. I mean, I don't think so much me. I know where I'm at on the totem pole of like famous artists and people just starting out. So I feel I'm a man of the people. I'm like right in the middle.
Yeah, you're not a shit stirrer like me that accidentally picks every hornet nest there's possible in the industry.
But you know what? What was actually a nice sobering conversation to have with her was because I see I've seen, and of course I would never name names because it's not something like that. I see where a girl being an artist in this industry could get far simply because she's a pretty girl. You could use that to your advantage, and I'm not saying anybody does. I'm just saying that maybe some people do. And so I always had the conversation with her was like, you know what? It's like being pretty is not enough. Being a girl is not enough. You have to bring something to the table. You have to have art that they're willing to actually buy and spend money on. And that's really, the biggest compliment that she could get is somebody not even saying something about her art is the fact that they spent their hard-earned money on the art. Not that they're just coming to the table for like a little photo op or to be a cosplayer and there's nothing wrong with being cosplayers. I love cosplayers. It's one of my addictions. It could be one of my vices. Instead of drinking and smoking, cosplayers. Look at my phone. It's wall-to-wall cosplayers. So I just didn't want her to think that it was like an easy path. I just wanted her to know in herself that she loves the process of being an artist. And because there's going to be ups and downs, and it's not going to be easy, and there's going to be good times, there's going to be lulls, and so she has the reality of it.
Yeah. Does her mother have any inclination towards creative fields and art and stuff like that?
She does not. But you know what? When we were married, she was actually part of my coloring studio. I mean, she was a part of all the things that we were doing at the time. She would come to shows with us, the whole 9 yards. But she's not. She wouldn't lean towards the creative stuff unless she was actually escorted to the creative stuff. She's much more of I have a real job, 9 to 5, which was great because her attitude really kept everything grounded and kept everything. I would say, cool. Like, I just can't draw comics and eat M&Ms all day. It's like, I have to treat it like a job. I have to bring in a certain amount of money every month. People depend on me, and she's working. We're depending on her. She's very realistic. If I had to compare it, I'll use a Star Trek thing. So she's got the Spock mentality where it's just like, this is what we need to do. And I'm over here like Captain Kirk going, let's go. It's like, wherever. It's like, so between the two of us, I think when we were together, it was fantastic. I think we did all the right things at the right times, and it was good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
As far as your relationship with Kat goes, did you guys ever have like a period in time where she just didn't seem to, where she was rebelling basically, and she just didn't seem to get along with you, or you didn't know what to make of it?
We had some chapters when she was becoming a teenager where, and this is really the only problems that I really, other than like normal life, problems. But I remember this sticks out more than anything else. She wanted to run down the street and play with people at the park, where I couldn't see her. And I'm just like, and I didn't want to come across as overprotective, like she's not allowed to do stuff, right?
Yeah.
But to go by herself and not with a group or something like that, I just felt uneasy about it. And the kind of response that she would get from other people, or that other kids said their parents would give them, is basically, you do it like this because I said so, right? And she's always been very level-headed and kind of strong-minded in the sense that I need a real answer. I don't need this kind of BS answer of because I said so. So we sat down, we had a talk, and it's like, look, this is the real reason that I don't want you to go down the street all the way down to the park where I don't know where you're at. She's like 10 or 12, something like that. And she's she's able to do things on her own and in a safer or a more controlled environment. Like, I think it would have been fine, but I told her the truth, which was like, look, I'm not perfect. I am scared because if something happens to you while you're down there, I can't save you. I'm not, I'm not Superman. I'm not, omnipresent. And if something happens to you and I can't help you and you can't call for help, that really scares me because there's no do-overs. If you get injured, you fall into a ditch, you break your leg.
That's great that you approach things that way, though, man.
I try to talk to her about everything in a very realistic, plausible kind of way, instead of just, I'm the dad, you should respect me.
Yeah, I had a very, my mom was great, but my dad was like an authoritarian a-hole.
Same.
Just
and my dad's a Navy guy.
He's not to the extent of just like, do what I say because now I can look back and go, okay, he was worried or whatever. But so many times, just completely take out his anger from his own life and his own experiences on.
Oh yeah, that's the circle I was trying to break, because I got that a lot. I have a naval officer father from Michigan, country boy, and I have a Puerto Rican mom from the island that's next to the island.
Well, that's funny. My mom is from Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh yeah, my mom is from Culebra.
Oh, okay.
Which is a small island off the coast of Puerto Rico, and that's where most of my family comes from my Puerto Rican side. And she's very overprotective, and she's very strong-headed. It's her way or the highway. I love her to death. I mean, it's like her attitude is what got her through the 50s and the 60s, and she had a heart condition. She had an artificial valve because when I was born, her valve burst. Because the doctor said, hey, you shouldn't have kids. So she went ahead and had me anyway.
Oh, wow.
So I'm lucky to be here. So, I love her to death. And towards the end, we lost her in 2015. She got Alzheimer's and dementia.
Oh, man.
So I took care of her here at home with my dad for about 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And she was happy. We kept her home. She was cool. We'd take turns. Dad would take her for part of the day. I would take her for another part of the day, and that was basically our life until she was until she passed.
Wow, man.
But still, as far as when they were both in their prime and I was like a little kid, rough childhood. Yeah. My way or the highway. And I came home from work, I'm angry, I'm gonna have a beer.
Yeah, and I look back now and like, yeah,
it's rough. It was rough. It was rough for a time.
It's exactly how you told Kat that you're scared.
Yeah,
and that's what it is, and I understand that and look back now.
Here's the thing.
I've forgiven and all that other stuff because you do it almost more for yourself, because if you just keep holding on to all that anger, you're the only one that's hurting from it.
I 1,000% agree. You do have to let that go for yourself, for your own soul, to not carry that.
And he's tempered with the years. He'll still. He's Sicilian, so he can't help it. Now I just laugh. He gets all fired up and just starts like going nuts, and I just laugh because I'm just like,
my dad has softened up.
But yeah,
my dad has softened up a lot too. He turned 80 this past year, and his health is you know, he still does yard work, but he needs lots of help now, and I can see where things are going. We're just going to be here. We're just going to take care of him, and you know, everybody gets along great.
Yeah.
But as far as that conversation with Kat, when I basically told her I was scared, and that's the reason I didn't really want her going down the street like by herself with the gang, right? Which is something that I used to do when I was a kid. So it's like I didn't want to. I was sort of leaving it to see how she would respond as to whether or not I was really going to let her go or not. But she was like, you know what? I get it. I totally understand that. And she went to her room and did something else. And it's like, and then we just continued on with the day. Like everything was fine. We had an understanding, you know. So I thought that was cool. Yeah, she's a good kid. She's smart. She's got a level head. She makes me look like I did a much better job than I really did. So.
And the only reason I ask that, honestly, is because I'm so fascinated whenever I see people who are close with their kids to the point that their kids are kind of walking in their footsteps.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because a part of me really wishes I did have that especially with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those things that I've made peace with over the years, that I'm like, I'm never going to have that. He's never going to be the dad I wish he was. I'm probably never going to be the son he wishes that I was.
You and me are on the same page.
Make peace with it.
My dad does not understand what the hell I do for a living. He just knows that I've been paying the bill long enough that he's just going to, all right. You know, I told him recently, even now that he's softened up, I was just like, hey, I could throw it up on the Apple TV. You want to see us like selling our comic books on, you know, because we get on YouTube. We have a couple shows we get on. And he's like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
He literally says, I don't care.
And you're like, all right.
It's like, all right, well, you know, I'll go mow the grass. And he's like, oh, awesome. I'm going to have a beer. So I don't have that connection with him. I basically have to meet him where he's at in order to have camaraderie with him.
But
that's fine. It's just, you know, it's a small, you know, it's just what it is.
But I love to see that. You know, it's great seeing how close you guys are, and it's always fascinating to me because I'm always thinking, like, did they have a period in time where maybe they weren't like this, and maybe they butted heads a lot and then they came out of it, or was it always kind of relatively this relationship and they got closer and closer, and you know, because there's that respect there when you kind of walk in a parent's footsteps and pick up, carry the torch kind of a thing, you know. And I think it's beautiful to see. I love it.
No, I appreciate it, dude. It's not easy. It took a lot of work and it took a lot of effort, because as the parent, you're constantly trying to meet them where they are. Kind of like what I'm doing with my dad. I'm meeting them where they are, so that way it's. If I could equate it to something simple, when I go to the mall with her, especially as a kid, it's like, you know, when I'm going to the mall or going to a store or going to a theme park, it's all about her. It's all about me supporting and doing things with her, because I can leave the house anytime I want. I can just go to the store and see all the boobs and tacos I want. You know, it's like I don't have to, you know, like, it's like, oh man, but I wanted to ride that roller coaster. You know, it's like, you know, I don't have to have that push and pull with her, you know. So sometimes we'd go to a theme park and she would see like the one thing she wanted to see. We had like a season pass or whatever. I'm not going to waste money like this, but she would go in and see like the one thing she wanted, and she's like, you know what, I'm tired, let's just go. And I'm just like, hell yeah, let's just go, let's go. You know, and going to a theme park, especially with my family, you go from morning until they close. You're not wasting one penny of that ticket.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know.
I hear that.
Yeah. But it's all good, because I can go back to Busch Gardens with my friends and, like, you know, BS around like we want to, and it's not a big deal. You know, let her do the things that she wants to do, and that way she knows, you know, that she can depend on me. You know.
Well, yeah, like I said, it's great to see that you guys are close like that, and it's awesome that, you know, she's
now it's a sweatshop. Just so you know, I whip her daily. Sweatshop, make some money. I turned it around.
You whip her with a pool noodle, though, you know.
All that
doesn't really.
No. All the
really
love was a ruse. All the love was just a plan to get her to be my.
Bill, before we wrap things up, we're past the hour mark.
Gotcha.
Can you bring up your campaign? I want to take a look at your campaign and talk about it for a little bit before.
Okay, yeah, that'd be awesome. Okay, there it is. Should be up there now.
All right. Yeah, I see.
Cool,
Nice.
cool. We finally broke 100 backers, which, by the way, thank you to everybody who's backing and supporting. It really does. Allow me to live and do something fun that we can all share. You know, it's like it means a lot.
I'm on that page with you, man. Yeah, because you do this full time as well, right?
Yeah, this is my full-time thing. My other day job is drawing for other people, and then my other day job is drawing for other people.
Couldn't have said any better myself.
All right, so we're at 102 backers.
So you're $75 away from 8,000. That's great.
I know, and I know that Tom has another stretch goal for the 8,000 mark. And Tom's really good. I love it when he's running the campaign because he throws in a lot of goodies. He does a lot of things for the backers. You know, giving them some extras and this and that. I think we have an amount too that if we get to, I'm going to add 4 pages of content to the story, so it'll be a 28-page story instead of a 24-page story. So I've got that all plotted out and planned out. I'll be excited if we can reach that stretch goal. That would be awesome.
Let's see. Some person says every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern, Bill does a draw stream.
This is true. I do a draw stream. It's a chat jam art stream. So basically, I listen to the chat and we just throw ideas around. And whatever ideas happen to stick, whatever the paper tells me, whatever kind of makes sense to me at the moment. And then whatever the drawing ends up being at the end of the hour, we auction off that drawing to the chat, so somebody can take it home if they want to bid on it and take it home. So we usually it always goes home with somebody, which is awesome, and it's always a fun time because they come up with crazy ideas. And look what they made me draw this Saturday is basically what I should call the show.
That's fun, man. Very nice. So yeah, you got this campaign going on right now. It's on Kickstarter.
Yep.
And I'm guessing if people missed issues 1 and 2, they can pick it up on this campaign. Is that correct?
Yes. I don't know if it's a limited quantity or what, but I know that first of all, one of the things that Tom did with the campaign is that he streamlined it in a way so that you could pick the cover that you want from the tiers, and then everything else is available on the add-on in the add-on store, including buying extra copies of the same cover or a different cover. So we've got my main cover, we've got the Gangs All Here cover, which was inked by Mikey Babinski. He's a good friend of mine. He's worked for Marvel DC. He's inked all kinds of stuff for them. We also did an homage cover, Bill Sienkiewicz, Elektra homage with our.
That was that miniseries that was at Epic, right?
No, well, yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. I guess that this particular cover, I mean, it's been homaged by so many people, and it's such a iconic.
I'm pretty sure it's issue 1. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Got a mermaid cover because we're gonna have a cool battle with Nira X and mermaids, and then there's the nude cover, which of course is censored for Kickstarter safety.
How amazing though would it be if you scroll up to that? How amazing would it be if you actually, that's the cover looked like with the submarine.
With the submarine and everything.
It's not censored, it's just the submarine over
there. That's just the way it is. With the submarine, it comes complete with submarine bra.
You couldn't even be like, it's false advertising. You're like, what do you mean? The picture's right there.
It kind of looks like a special cup that you get at 7-Eleven. Like
yeah, and she's kind of like taking a sip. Yeah.
This is Cat Mouse's variant cover.
Yeah, that's a great piece there by Cat.
Yeah, I love what she did with it. She did really good. John Stinsman, he did a cover for number 1, and he was hoping that we were going to have the nude version of that cover for issue 1. For some reason, it did not happen, and he's like, "Oh, I was hoping to have the nude cover on the thing." So we have it now for issue 3, which is cool. And I still got Waffle up here because next week I'll have some preview pages inked and colored up for you to see on the campaign. And then we've got these acrylic standees. They look like this. And then I blank on the back. They're like this on the front. We've had 2 characters, and I think the other characters are still available on the campaign, so you could get all of them if you wanted to. These are the 2 characters that are available, the new ones. So you got Thalia, the Cyber Demon, and you've got Malka, the Cyber Angel. And then there's a backdrop that we have for all the standees if you wanted to get that.
Yeah, I like that backdrop. That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun. I used, we have a big, like everything all-in-one tier, which I forget how much it is, but it's got all the covers and a bunch of goodies, and the backdrop, it's the wraparound cover for that particular tier.
Oh,
and,
nice.
and the thing about that wraparound cover, it's a 1 of 1. So we're only going to print 1 copy of that cover for the collector. So,
wow.
So whoever backs that, you're going to have the only wraparound. There's not going to be. Yeah, it's just a 1 of 1. So
that's cool.
These are the other standees. We had Nira and Mercy and Evil Nira and Allura, which is Cyber Angels. We unlocked the Jumbo Mermaid sticker, the nude version of it. Everybody is already going to get the regular version of the Mermaid sticker. We already unlocked the stretch goal for that. It's like a 4.5-inch die-cut sticker. Then I'm also doing remarks on vintage Nira X books. Tom's got a signed Jay Lee. I was actually lucky enough to see. Wow. I airbrushed it. This is before my digital days.
Nice, man.
But it was fun.
Is that a chromium cover?
Yeah, it's a chromium cover. Yeah, that was a good bucket list item for me. So first of all, it's Jay Lee's artwork, and I got to color his artwork, and it was a photostat of his artwork. His original is still, of course, pristine.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it was a chromium cover on top of that. So it was like really, really cool.
Wow.
And we got some more stuff. We have another 3D mouse pad featuring Malka, the Cyber Angel, which is actually designed after a real person. So one of our collectors and now friends, his name is Ken. His wife Courtney has approved that she is now a Cyber Angel in the book. So she's based on a real person. We have a square throw pillow featuring all the main characters.
Let's see. One thing, we got a question here from the darker half. Says trade
Sure.
if this is successful.
I do want to do a trade. There is going to be a trade sometime in the future, but it's not going to be anytime really soon. So, one way or another, there is going to be a trade down the line. We did a couple miniseries. This is our second miniseries with Committed Comics, and having either a trade through Committed or having a trade paperback through, because I reprint the content, not the covers, but the content of all of the books that I draw for Committed as artist proof editions from Entity Comics. So this could be, so either way, if Tom decides to do it down the road as a trade, we'll do it that way. But if he decides he doesn't want to do it, then I may just go ahead and pull the trigger and do a trade that way.
Nice.
I mean, some other good. We still got the big challenge coin.
Oh, those are pretty cool.
And
That's
poker
nice.
chips. I think the 8,000. I think the stretch goal for the 8,000 level is the blood red poker chips. So I think everybody's going to get one of those.
So
and of course,
you're 75 away from that.
Yeah, like right around the corner.
Wow.
And then we've got examples of the different levels of commissions that you can get along with your order. So if you get one of the commission tiers, or you order a commission tier through the add-on store, these are just some samples of the different levels that you can get. And then there's all the, let me see, these are all the unlocked stretch goals so far. So there's a thank you print. There's a business card sized magnet with Evil Nira as Electra. You can now purchase the black and white sketch card. Everybody gets a jumbo sticker, and you can also now buy the nude version of the jumbo sticker if you like. We passed 100 backers, so everybody gets a bookmark. And of course, we have the team. This is me looking extra smooth. That's Tom. And then we've got some more stretch goals yet to go. So, and he's going to add, I forgot about we're going to have, remember those pens back in the 70s that you turn them upside down and the bikini girl would go naked?
Yeah.
So she doesn't go naked, but the cyber skin will come off of the girl and she'll be wearing like a little bikini.
That's cool.
I wanted to do a nude one, but also I wanted to make sure that I could sell it at shows and stuff like that. So we're gonna have a bikini on her. Yeah,
that might complicate things.
And then if we do reach 20,000, which would be awesome, there'll be 4 additional pages. And I know that Tom is already thinking of stretch goals and goodies and things for different levels between 13,000 and 20,000. So we'll see what he comes up with. And that's us. That's us all the way through.
Fantastic.
Busy week.
Oh boy, I feel that.
I bet.
Well, congrats on the success thus far of the campaign. You got 28 days left. When did you start this?
Like 4 days ago.
Oh, okay. So it's a relatively new campaign. All right.
Yeah, it's just brand new campaign. We were going to go just the 30 days, but we stretched it a few extra days because that way we can end it on a Friday instead of earlier in the week, and kind of that way we can have a little wrap-up party and all that good stuff. So
nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, man. This was a great conversation with you. I appreciate you spending some time with me tonight. Everybody in the chat, thank you guys too. Was there anything you wanted to say before we parted ways?
Well, I usually do a live stream on Saturdays, but this Saturday I'm going to be at Ocean City Anime Con in Ocean City, Maryland. So I'm not going to be doing my normal show this Saturday. So if I have enough strength after driving all day and drawing all day, I will try to have the show on Sunday. If not, we'll just we'll have to wait a week and we'll do it from there. And just and please, everybody, back the campaign. There is an extra thing with going on with the campaign that's not really super visible at the top of the thing, which is there's going to be a contest at the end of the Kickstarter. When it all wraps up about a week later, we're going to draw 4 random confirmed backers to win an original 11x17 interior page of artwork from the book.
Cool.
So, and that includes people that even if you only get the PDF, if you only get the digital tier, which is like $5, and you could win, hopefully what we consider to be like a $200 value, having an actual original page from inside the book. So even if you don't get a physical tier, you're still going to be entered into that contest at the end. And then we're going to do a live stream and draw those winners on, live on the Red Valkyrie channel. And I'm not really sure what date it is, but I know it's about a week or so after the campaign ends, and we'll announce all that. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, cool. Let's see. So tomorrow night, I'm not going to be on this channel. I'm going to be on Church of MAUS Radio, MABUS, and it's a Louisiana-based radio show / YouTube stream, and they talk about like the paranormal and whatnot. They're having me on to talk about King Cryptid and other such things. We'll see how that goes. And then Saturday night, I'll be back here for a Saturday night comics auction, and then Sunday night, I'll be on the Alterna Comics channel. So far with Rob Geronimo and Bill MAUS, hopefully. And maybe Tyler Wentland, maybe Keir Covington. I'm hoping those guys can be there too, but we'll be over there at 9:00 Eastern.
I'll have enough steam for a Sunday stream as long as you're hosting it and I'm not hosting it.
Yeah, I'll be hosting it.
Yeah, so. Doing my draw stream on Sunday, I think it'll be a bit much. But showing up and actually joking around and having some Alterna artwork to share, I think that'll be fun.
Oh, that'd be great.
Awesome.
And some person, I don't have the YouTube chat open right now. So I'm sorry I can't rent you. StreamYard still has these limitations. I can't click on links in the chat, and I can't give anyone moderation powers in the chat either. So sorry. But I got links in the description. If you guys want to check those out, you can go check out Bill's campaign on Kickstarter. You can check out his YouTube, and you can check out anything Alterna Comics related, including, of course, my King Cryptid series that's both on Indiegogo and on the Alterna site right now. Other than that, everybody, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. Bill, thank you. This was a great conversation. I had a lot of fun, and it was just awesome catching up with you and diving deeper into the world of Mr. Bill MAUS.
I do my best.
You done good, Bill. You done good. Let's see. We got a question here from Brian saying, Bill, is the standee background cardboard?
You know what? I need to ask Tom about that. because he's the one placing the orders for all of the extra stuff. I did the artwork and I turned it in, but I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a acrylic that actually folds, or if it's a cardboard thing that folds. I thought it was acrylic, but don't hold me to it. I tell you what I will do though. When I talk to Tom, hopefully tonight, I will tell him to put that in the description on the Kickstarter page to make it very clear, like what the background is actually going to be made out of, whether it's cardboard or whether it's actually the same type of clear acrylic that the figures are made out of.
Okay. And
Thanks,
Darker Half says, am I able to get back issues of old trades of Nira X from you? Do you have an online shop?
I have an online shop that's empty right now. But if you wanted to pick up, there is this, which I believe is on the campaign. It's a 300-page. It's an omnibus style issue, and it's basically our issue 0. It's the first issue that we did with Committed Comics, and I think he's got the best price and the best availability, because I don't think there's very many of these left on Tom's end. But it starts with a new bit of story at the beginning, and then the middle chunk is Nira basically going through a flashback of all the different memories of different stories that she's appeared in. It includes her very first appearance, which is a black and white appearance that happened in Zen number 0 back in 1993, I believe. And then it includes like all the other full color series that we published through Entity Comics. And then at the end of the book, it ends with another bit of new story. So this is actually the best thing to pick up. It's called Ground Zero. It's our issue 0. It's like it's a big book. But it's a perfect jumping on point, so you can get a good wrap, get your head wrapped around like what all the 90s stories were all about.
All right. Okay, everybody,
Cool.
That's it. Everyone have a great night. I'll see you guys hopefully on Saturday night. And until then, all the best, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. And Bill, all the best to you, my friend. See you on Sunday.
Pete, thank you so much. We'll see you again.
No problem. See you, everybody. Take it
All right.
easy.
Bye-bye. Good night, everybody.